Hey everyone. Okay. Chat. Okay. All right. So, uh, let's also do this caption. Okay. Well, hi everyone. Hey, Ryo, how's it going? Oh man, you're right. I haven't seen you in a really long time because I haven't really been on live, but how are you doing? It's so good to see you. I hope you can hear me. Yeah. Wait, why am I putting earphones on? Oh, I'm not even listening to anybody. Yeah, it's so nice to see you. How is everything? Tell me everything. I'm looking forward to hearing your updates. But for me, I just hopped on because I wanted to talk a little bit about stuff, and I have like an hour until my next meeting, so I wanted to just quickly hop on today and just uh talk about some other things. Okay. So I had a topic for today, and it's about um action, right? So I'm not really well organized in what I really want to be saying, so I'm just gonna put it out while I'm talking about things. So we have this idea that we don't get the things that we want. We don't really get the achievements that we want because we don't apply ourselves, because we don't do it, right? And I remember getting report cards in elementary school, and in the report cards, the teachers leave a remark, like a comment on how the student is doing. And this is a common culture, and so it's some teachers have like favorite lines, like very common lines. And one of the common lines is, "The kid is smart, but he doesn't apply himself." So this is a very common thing that people think about and talk about in Korea. Oh, that person's smart. She's smart, but she doesn't apply herself. But once she applies herself, she's gonna be good. And a parent can say this. A teacher can say this. So the thing is, now it bleeds into my mind, it bleeds into your mind, this idea that I'm smart, but the thing is, I don't apply myself. And so if I applied myself, something would work. Like whatever it is I'm experiencing, whatever difficulty I'm experiencing, I won't if I apply myself. But the thing is, I'm smart. So I just need to apply myself. And that's it. But the thing is, this is a very big misconception. Why this is a very big misconception is, number one, just because you're smart, it doesn't mean that when you do apply yourself, it'll work. Because it's a very all or nothing kind of a mindset that we have, where we're like, yes, if I apply myself, I'm gonna 100% get it. Like, the only thing in between me and the thing that I want is my application of myself. But it doesn't really work that way. Because why? If it were that easy, what's the point of anything? If anything in life is just obtained by applying yourself and you're done, then why is there so much randomness and variability in life? And another trap is thinking that because we are smart, application will work. The thing is, applying yourself and seeing results have really nothing to do with your intelligence. I can be really smart about riding bicycles because I understand the parts of the bicycle and the mechanics of how a bike goes forward. But if I don't know how to ride a bike because I'm not athletic, it's not necessarily going to help me at all. What's up, SB? What do you do when you have multiple interests? Let me talk about that after I finish talking about whatever. Yeah, yeah. You're not sure? Yeah. That happens all the time. Yeah, I'll definitely talk about it after I talk about the things that I've been talking about right now. So, we have to understand that intelligence and intellect has nothing to do with the things that we want to get out of our life by applying ourselves. So, the faster we break away from this idea that number one, we're smart, and therefore, whatever we want, if we apply ourselves, we're kind of guaranteed to get it. No, it doesn't work like that. Number two, and oh, yeah, and if I just do it, it'll work. And because I'm smart, when I apply myself, I'll know exactly what to do. You won't, because application of yourself is not a singular task. So what we have to think about is it's not this inaction of like, it's just because I'm not doing this one thing. It's not that. It's this habit of inaction that we have built for ourselves because of underlying justifications. Like, I'm smart, but I just don't know. I just don't want to apply myself because for whatever reason. So we have to be thinking about application of ourselves in a different way. That's not defined by smartness. That's not defined by this binary of success or failure. We have to learn that by applying ourselves, we have to learn that through failure and success, we learn how to move one step closer to the goals that we want in life. All right, so that was the recording. Okay, so what do you do when you have multiple interests? So that's exactly the position I find myself in these days because number one, I want to be good at French because I'm trying to look for opportunities to move to France, and in order to do that, I need to speak French. So I need, and obviously, I don't. Well, not maybe not obvious to you, but I don't speak French. I did like what 250 days on Duolingo in French, and I can have a small conversation with people. Oh, comment ça va? And like I can order a coffee en espresso, s'il vous plaît, and I can do those things, but I can't conduct my life coaching business. I can't do software engineering in French, and so I want to be at that level. And now, because I need a job, in order to, potentially immigrate to France, I need to be able to prepare for job interviews. So job interviews in the software engineering world requires like a technical skill, like coding interview, right? So I need to prepare for that. Yeah, Duolingo, like it's good for learning words because it keeps you reinforcing like it keeps on forcing you to recall the words, which is work. But yeah, you're right. It's not a replacement for school. I can't expect to get like pass a French exam just based on Duolingo. So, and that's why I signed up for private lessons or exam preparation. Okay, but anyway, so I have French, so I have interview preparations, but at the same time, I have this YouTube channel, right, where I go live and also I make videos. So I think about YouTube. I think about talking to you guys, and also I have my writings, right? I write almost every day, and in my writings I also talk about a lot of life coaching, right? And aside from that, I also have a lot of people I teach life coaching, and I have a lot of clients I work with life coaching, right? So as you can see, I have I have multiple interests as well. So how do we do um how do we pursue these multiple interests? Now, something I want to really recommend as a start is really being more efficient with the time that you have. And what I mean is, if I am on YouTube right now and I'm talking to you, right? And I am thinking about, what should I be doing YouTube right now? Isn't my time better spent doing French? Then I'm not concentrating on making the most out of this time that I committed to myself. So I have 24 hours like everyone else. But in that 24 hours, if I keep thinking, I just need to do 1 hour of French, but like in that hour, instead of doing French, I'm thinking, but I should really make a short Instagram video. Then you see, it's not really dedicating that 1 hour solely to French. So, in terms of efficiency in time, one thing is picking what we're going to do and sticking to it, like just actually focusing on that. Yeah, I want to do all these other things. Yeah, but I can worry about that later. All these things are done one at a time. We have to realize that. So, that's the first kind of time efficiency. And the second kind of time efficiency is reducing your idle time. Reducing the amount of time that you spend in between things, where you just don't do anything, but keep thinking about doing something. We have to be efficient about reducing that time. Now, then this all makes sense. It seems pretty obvious. Then why don't people do it? People don't do it because they have a different idea about freedom, time freedom. We all want to be more time free. We are all very intimidated by the prospect of, oh my God, my calendar is full. We want to give ourselves free time to do whatever we want. And so when we have multiple interests, like when we think about each of the individual interests, it sounds fun, it sounds enticing, it sounds great. But when it comes time to fill our calendar with these things that we are going to do, we feel stuck and we feel locked up. And this feeling of, oh my God, I'm not free to do what I want, can really mess up your schedule, like inner schedule. You really feel bad because you don't feel free. But then how do you work around this? We have to realize that we have a different definition of freedom, right? So you're hungry around 11:30 noon. So you'll be eating, right? But when you block calendar for lunch, it feels like you're not free. It feels like you have to eat. But what we realize is that regardless of whether I block that time or not, I'm gonna be eating anyway. So we think by blocking our time, we are reducing our freedom, but we forget that we are the ones free. We're free to make time blocks. We're free to not make time blocks. But we keep only exercising the freedom that comes from not blocking time. Yeah, see, that's exactly what you're talking about, right? I don't feel like schedules work for me like that kind of, it's too rigid. But again, what I'm trying to get you to see, not implement right away, but I'm just trying to get you to open your perspective on, we are free to not have booked time, right? That's one kind of freedom. Yes, you can exercise your freedom and not book time so that you have a spontaneous window of doing whatever you want to do. That, I'm not arguing that's bad. I'm not arguing that's not freedom. But we are also free. I'm free to make time for myself. So what I'm saying is, we unconsciously fall into this pattern of thinking freedom is only free when there's no time blocked. But what I am suggesting is, what if I am also free to put things on my calendar? That's also a version of freedom that I am not exercising. So in that way, ironically, Through my pursuit of freedom, I am locking myself up in a conceptual not freedom. I'm restricting myself. But I understand this is a concept that's a little bit difficult to wrap your head around. But even if you just take away the one thing, focus on one thing at a time, it's still good. Because again, I want to contextualize and recap. There's two kinds of time efficiency I want to recommend for you. One, time efficiency is when you're doing something, you commit to doing that and that only. Like, for example, a lot of people feel too tired, right? And they want to rest. But at the same time, when they rest, they're looking on their phone and then they're just zoning out and then they're thinking, oh, shouldn't I be doing something more productive? So this is half-assing rest. You're not really resting your brain. You keep stimulating your mind, and therefore, by the end of the rest session, you feel even more tired and you feel more like brain fatigue. So if I decide I'm gonna rest, I'm gonna take a nap. If I decide to take a rest, I'm gonna put my phone away because I need to actually rest my brain. My brain wants to stop thinking about things. It wants to just look at the wall. It wants to just look at the trees. It wants to just look at something that exists and then appreciate that and sit in the stillness. That's what I'm committing to for the hour. I decided to come on YouTube for the next hour. I'm gonna, like until my next meeting. So that means I can't be. I mean, I could be thinking about. I have this live stream on, right? My camera's on to the live, and I could be sitting here not talking to you guys. I could be sitting here just thinking, yeah, I'm gonna drink my tea, and but that would be a waste of time for both you and me, right? I decided to come on YouTube, so I try my best to talk about things with you, and that is time efficiency. I want you're free to pick something that feels good to you. But if you're going to do that, what I'm saying is stick to that and don't feel guilty about shouldn't I be doing something more productive? Because guess what? You are going to be doing that something productive later. And when it's that time, you're going to stop thinking about, I want to not do it, I want to rest. Why? Because you're going to do rest later. So this is the time efficiency, one type of time efficiency. But the other type of time efficiency is reducing your idle time where you're not doing anything. But I have a video about that, like no idling is I think what I call it. So I will give you that link. Okay, Rio, I see your message. Really, recently I faced the I am stupid situation again, facing math stresses. It's my first office job, so I quit. So if I quit, the impact is gonna be huge. I don't think office job is matched to my strength. I want to have a work where really belongs to my life, which I can make friends feeling I belong to the group instead of staying in office typing all day and feel that I'm bad. Now, if I can't do office job, only other job I can do is waiter job. I fail to see other possibilities of myself. So, Rio, um, I think I think the thing you might be experiencing right now is you want to do a good job. So, if you were a millionaire and you won the lottery or something, and it's okay if you lose your job, right? Then work won't be stressful. Why? Because you don't need to do a good job. But right now, right? You're trying to do a good job because for you, like you said, the impact is going to be huge. So the impact is holding you hostage. And that's why you don't feel powerful in your job. In your job, you have things that you need to protect. And because you're trying to protect those things, a big portion of your mind is always going to that instead of enjoying working. So, this is the mechanism of why you are facing this stress, right? So, the first thing I would recommend for you is we have to think about how your life is beyond this job. And you just mentioned it. It's like being an adult for once, and if I fail this job, I failed at being an adult. So, yes, let's talk about that because that I think is the most important part of your conundrum right now. There's other things I want to touch on, like a belonging. I can talk a little bit about that. But something I want you to keep in mind is this. So, Rio, if I build one Lego, am I done with Legos for my life? No, I can always have more Legos in the future, right? So, what we really, this is a pattern that we keep falling to. If the next thing doesn't work, then it's done. This is the error. But what we don't see in life is that there is always, always, always a next time. So I have a friend who is in jail. And I was talking to this person prior to them going to jail. And at the time, right? Uh they were so worried about what if I go to jail? What if I go to jail? But I kept on telling them, hey, you know what? Like, let's suppose that's true. Even if you do go to jail, right? I guarantee you, life is gonna continue. And there's always going to be something new to think about. There's always going to be new opportunities, regardless of where you are. So, if going to jail is a bad thing and you're trying to protect yourself from that bad thing, of course you're gonna suffer. I want you to see that even if you go to jail, there's something you can do. There will be things you're thinking about, and there will be more things in the future for you. And they ended up going to jail. But now, you see, these days, when your loved ones are in jail, you can communicate with them via email. And guess what? I'm emailing my friend in jail, and I was right. Life does continue in jail. They're thinking about what they're gonna do when they come out of jail. They're thinking about the things that they're going to do inside jail the next day or the next month or the next week. So just like this, when we are living life, we fall into this mistake. We fall into this misconception of like, oh, the next thing matters so much. Like this thing that currently working on right now, it matters so much and it's so important. And now, I'm not saying it's not important, but regardless of whether that succeeds or fails, there's always going to be next opportunities. And now, in that next opportunity, I want you to be good, right? So, for example, if you get another office job, I want you to have a better time in your office job than the previous one, right? That's how career works. And I don't know if I mentioned this on YouTube before, but I was fired from a job once, right? And at the time it felt like such a downgrade because at the time I was working at Apple, right? And I thought so highly of myself. I was like, I'm so smart. I'm working at the best technology company in the world, and like I'm the shit, and everybody else is stupid compared to me. It's embarrassing, but I used to think like this. And then I got fired out of the blue. And I'm like, oh my God, now, like, this is actual failure, right? Is what I'm thinking in my brain. Now, how do I make up for this? Because right now, I'm super embarrassed to tell my friends and family that I got fired from this really great job because I fucking suck. So the only way to make this work is I need to get a better job. right? I need to get a even better job. So I applied to all these really good jobs. And then the stress, I didn't know how to handle the stress. And so I failed miserably. One time I threw up mid-interview because I was so nervous, right? It was just really bad. So I went to another company. And to me, like to other people, it felt like a downgrade. But the thing is, I also felt like I was not worthy anymore because now, as a software engineer, I was just really hotshot, like working at a great company. But now I'm working at a less prestigious company. I'm working at a smaller company. And so it feels like I lost my worth. I lost my value. But the crazy thing is, I got paid more here and I built better career here. And from here, I made a lot of meaningful connections and networks. Why? Because life didn't end the moment I got fired. So, Rio, suppose this, like, I want you to assume the worst, okay? Suppose this job doesn't work out. And suppose you do fail. Now, at that moment, yeah, you will feel like you're not worthy. And you know what? You're allowed to feel that. It's fine. But I need you to see that there is tomorrow after that. And you can always rebuild. But now when you rebuild, guess what? You can use the knowledge from the past. So you're already better than you were yesterday. You just don't think of it like that. So it's like when you graduate high school, because your life as you know it is contained inside of high school. When you graduate, you feel like, oh my God, like I'm not gonna know what to do because, like I'm not gonna be with my friends anymore. I'm not gonna go to class anymore. But guess what? After high school, life continues, right? You know this because after elementary school, life continues. After middle school, life continued. So you did really horribly in a test in middle school, but life continued after that, right? Maybe you did really great in high school, but life continued after that, right? This is what we have to remember, regardless of whether we do well or bad in life. Life always continues, and there's always a new opportunity, and there's always a new chance at life. So ideally, as we progress, we want to be progressing in a better way, right? But focusing on negativity, I have to ask you, focusing on the things that can go wrong, does it help you? Does it benefit you in that it makes you become a better version of you tomorrow? I want you to think of it like that. Like, really, like, I'm not worthy. Thinking that, does that benefit me today? Does that benefit me tomorrow? This is gonna give you the perspective on what you do actually want to focus on. And then that way you progress a lot forward, regardless of what job you're at, regardless of what opportunity you're working on, regardless of how many times you got fired. It doesn't really matter in the long run because life always progresses. I want you to keep that progression in mind instead of being so focused on this job that you're in right now. Akashic Records, I actually don't know what that is. Let me look it up. can't believe I didn't write about defaulting to idle. Akashic records are believed esoteric mysticism, compendium of all universal events, thoughts, words, emotion, and intent ever to have occurred in the past, and not just humans. Okay. So what do I think about it? I don't really have a thought about it because yeah, I guess I mean it's just one of those things that you can hi Malachi. It's just one of those things that you can believe it exists, you can not believe it exists, but it has no meaningful impact to me because meaningful impact is, does it have an impact on my happiness today? Thanks, man. Yeah. So this is a little bit of a Buddhist history, but Buddhism is inspired as a reaction to Hinduism, right? And in Hinduism, past life, reincarnation, relationship with the deities and the gods, that's very important, right? And so Buddhism came as a reaction to that kind of a belief system. But Buddhism got down to the core of like, okay, so God actually exists. And reincarnation actually exists because my soul exists. Does it have a meaningful impact on my suffering today? And I'm gonna skip to the conclusion. Spoiler alert, it doesn't, because regardless of what happened in the past, what my individual happiness and freedom from suffering, what matters is this lifetime that I have. So, with that, it's in the realm of belief. You can believe that there is an Akashic record. You can believe that there is a Christian God. You can believe that there is like another religion's version of God. But whether you believe in it or not, which I say belief because it's not verifiable. Regardless of your belief, it has no impact on your individual happiness. And by that, I mean, you're not prevented from happiness. You're not doomed to a life of suffering because of those things. So whether you believe in it or not, freedom from suffering is attainable in this lifetime. And that's the significance. So that's why I say, yeah, it's something that people can believe it, but me being more of a practical Buddhist, I have no really like deep vested interest in things that relate outside of practical happiness and freedom suffering for me and others. I don't really know what career I should choose because it's a big part of our life. So what things should I choose my job based on? Belongings might be one I crave in life. Yeah. So um this is actually a question I answered with the client call earlier today in the morning. So in this life, it's very important to recognize that right now, at this moment in life, in 2025, it's very unlikely that in the most parts of the world that you will starve and die. It's very unlikely that in most parts of the world, your primary needs of food, clothing, and shelter will not be provided to you and your survival won't be guaranteed. So this means if you lower your standards, you won't die. It'll be very difficult for you to die because of a lack of needs fulfilled. Now, what gets in the way of that is mental illness, so that you can't apply yourself to, make economic transactions and make finances happen for yourself. What prevents that is if you're living in like a war-ridden area or like a very, very poor part of the world and where there's resource imbalances and you don't get the resources that you need to survive. Outside of those things, when you go out and apply yourself in the world of labor market, it is very unlikely that you will you will basically not survive because of unfulfilled primary needs. This means, number one, we need to have a realistic standard for ourselves. For me, I set a high standard for myself because why? I came out of a good college and a good university, and I had a high degree. I had a master's degree in engineering. So I made it I told myself, I need to make six figures, right? I need to make a lot of money. Otherwise, my life is a failure because now I'm going to be worthless. Like my degree is going to be worthless. My school is going to be worthless. And I did all of that for nothing. So I need to make it work. And so therefore, I need to be rich. That was the mindset that I had. And when I live like that, I'm forced to do certain careers that make a lot of money, right? So I was at the time, I was forced to do computer engineering, software engineering. But is it my lifelong passion? After spending about 10 years in it, I realized that it's not. That's why I started my life coaching business. That's why I'm talking to you guys about life, because this is what I actually want to do. So now I quit my job. I don't work as a software engineer anymore. So I make very little money these days. I make very little money. But it's okay and I am not stressed. Why? Because I know that if I need to, I can get on food stamps. If I need to, I can go to a shelter. I know that I can get access to primary needs. And so even if the worst thing happens, I know that I can take care of myself. And even in the worst case, I can get a job. I can just go back to work. It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to go back to work. My life is so miserable. No, I don't work right now outside of this life coaching business, but I can always go back to work because I'm open to all possibilities, right? So, how do you build a career? I want you to do what you want to do. Because the moment you think, I need to have some kind of a career, I need to advance, I need to have some sort of a standard of living, that's when you end up restricting your life. And I don't think, um, you know, we are all here to restrict ourselves, right? I want you to try working at a restaurant if you feel like it. I want you to work at a Lego store if you feel like it. I want you to try and apply for jobs at Lego or like Playmobil if you want to, right? Why limit yourself? No one's preventing you from applying to these things, right? But in order to do that, we have to be fearless, and in order to do that, we have to break away from life as we know it in our head, because most of the times we are the ones who end up preemptively limiting ourselves. And I want to inspire all of you to be more fearless in life. But you asked something about belonging. So let's talk a little bit about belonging. So belonging is something I talk to a lot about with a lot of people. Do I still go out to surf and jiu-jitsu? So jiu-jitsu, yes, I'm gonna go train today as well. But surfing's been a little bit difficult because after I quit my job, I have a lot of morning client sessions. So I usually surf in the morning, like 6 a.m., but I have 6 a.m. client sessions. So it's kind of like difficult to surf. But now I'm hoping to go back to the beach when I have a bit more of a morning schedule. Okay, so belonging is something I talk about with people who are young, people who are old, immigrants, people who are transplants, and things like that. Belonging is hard because you're relying on other people to make you feel like you belong, right? So, whenever you do something that's controlled by other people, it's kind of hard, right? So, for example, The point of my life coaching business is to have clients, right? I want to work with clients. I want clients to sign a monthly contract with me so that I can work on their life with them. That's something I want. And that's how I make my living. Or I want you, if you don't want to work on like an individual one-on-one coaching relationship with me, I still want you to support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel. I want you to support me by paying for my $7 a month life coaching magazine. So I want you to do all these things, but the thing is, I can't make you do these things, right? So I could give you my website, right? I could be like, hey guys, go to julylifecoach.com. But the thing is, I can't make you go here. I can give you the link, but I can't make you go here, right? And another thing, like, oh yeah, I have this life coaching magazine, and I want you all to subscribe to my life coaching magazine, and I want you to, help me out. So can I do something like, yeah, I can give you the link to buy my, support me for $7 a month. I could do that, but the thing is, I can't make you do it, right? So now, because this is something that's not up to me, but I really want it. But again, I'm not the one in charge of making it happen. That's when I suffer, right? Belonging works similarly. I want to feel like I belong, but the thing is, other people have to welcome me. Other people have to embrace me. Other people have to include me in their things for me to feel like I belong. And that's why belonging is kind of a difficult subject. So, what do I do when I feel like I can't get clients because it's up to other people? Well, the thing is, I want to coach people, right? Some of the people I coach will be clients, but some of the people I coach will be people watching my videos like you. So I go from something that other people can do for me, I turn this around to what can I do? Can't make you click on the link and buy things from me, but I can give you the link. That's something I can control. So I focus on the things that I can do. Now, belonging, let's put that into belonging. What we have to realize is when we feel like we don't belong, it's because we are closed to other people. We feel awkward about introducing ourselves and integrating in without other people inviting us. We have to realize that we don't feel like we belong because we have a resistance to actively belonging in another group. So when I like you mentioned recently, like I do jujitsu, right? In my jujitsu school, we have a culture. When we get on the mat, we shake everybody's hand. And as a beginner, right, when I first joined my jujitsu school, I thought that was really good for me. Why? Because I see other people joining other jiu-jitsu schools, but then they're new, and so they're in the corner. They don't know what to do, and all the other people already have friends, so they're like hanging out, and you're like, I don't know what to do, and you're just here, and then somebody comes next to you, and like, I don't know, if they're nice, they might be like, hey, are you new? Yeah, you want to work on some things with me? Or other times, people are like just like, oh, must be a new guy, but they don't necessarily talk to you, right? But because of this culture of going around and shaking everybody's hand. I look at that monkey see, monkey do, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. So I go around shaking other people's hand. Hi, I'm Billy. This is my first day. 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 Now, after one round, everybody at least knows about me, right? So now, the next step of like, hey, can you teach me something? This is a lot easier. Why? Because I already started the first step of getting to know somebody, introducing myself, right? So, because I know what it's like to be a beginner and feel awkward, whenever I see someone new, I make it a point to go talk to them. So if you are part of a community already, this is something you can do, right? Create a culture, create a practice where it's easier for new people to come and join. But if you are someone who is looking for belonging and community, we have to do the things that we can do, right? They can reject me. These people, after I say hi, they're free to not like me. Just because they don't like me, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. But I'm gonna do my part and introduce myself and try to hang out with them. So it's like this. Hey, I'm real. And yeah, and I joined this company a few weeks ago, and yeah, I'm here. But are you guys eating lunch soon? I would love to join you guys. I haven't really had lunch with other people yet in the company, and I just want to say hi and then grab some lunch with you. If I remember correctly, you're from Malaysia, so food is a love language there, right? So yeah, have some nasi lemak, and have some ayam goreng. Have those things, and then you feel like after one conversation, you can get the sense that like, hey, these are pretty cool people, or like, these people kind of aren't my vibe. But then now you can go on to another group and say, hi, I'm Rio, and I never really hung out with you guys, so I wanted to have some lunch with you. So when you leave your life to hands of other people, that's when you feel powerless. And I want you to feel powerful. And you feel powerful when your life is in your hands. You're in charge of the things that you are doing, right? And when you focus on the things that you can do, when you focus on the things that you can give other people, when you think about the love and emotion that you can give to other people instead of the things that you want from other people, that's when you become a stronger person. That's when you become a more powerful, authoritative person. I want to foster that kind of a relationship with yourself, right? So that is what I have to say about belonging. And the other thing is, yeah. Now let's talk about the wide expanse of careers. You said if I can't do office job, only job I can do is like waiter job. So not necessarily. You can do an office job. You can go into manufacturing, right? You can be a factory worker, and manufacturing is really important. And you can be an assembly line worker, and you can go to like a market, and you can be the shelf. You can be the shelf stocker, and you can work in customer service. You can work at the mall, and you can give people like you can help people shopping there. And you can definitely be a waiter. Waiting tables is something that you can do. Another thing you can do is work at a specialized industry, right? You can be a video editor for yourself, and you can work at a massage parlor, and you can learn how to give people massages. You can be a cleaner. You can clean other people's houses, and you can be a plumber. And so there's a lot of things you can do outside of the office jobs and the waiter jobs. But what's likely happening is you don't want to. Why? Because you have a certain kind of a standard of life you want for yourself. So I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, we all have standards for our life, right? And that's fine to have. But what we need to realize and recognize is when we have a requirement for ourselves, we are restricting ourselves. And that's fine. If I'm playing Pokemon, I'm not playing with Digimon, right? If I'm playing Pokemon, I'm not playing Magic the Gathering. If I'm playing Pokemon, I'm not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because why? The point of playing Pokemon is to play fucking Pokemon, right? So we have to think of it like that. Like, I just want an office job. I want an office job. But that means we are effectively saying no to other possibilities. But we can't mistake that for like, outside of office jobs, nothing exists. No, that's not the right way to think about things because other things definitely exist. Wow. You know, so this is a thing I've been having these days, but I talk a lot, and now when I talk a lot, it didn't used to be like this, but my throat starts getting froggier a lot quicker than it used to. So I need to get like a vocal training or something so that I know how to pace my voice and maybe pick up some foods that are good for my throat. I heard ginger tea is good for my throat. So maybe I'll have some ginger tea after this, but I have a call soon. So I'm gonna do that. Um, I wanted to show you my notebook where I'm practicing, where I'm learning my French in, but this has all the really nice, cool things about Paris that I like. This is my favorite place in Paris, coffee, and this is croissant that I can't have because I have celiac. Eiffel Tower, Louvre, Notre Dame, and yeah, isn't it nice? I have something like this for Amsterdam as well. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I keep forgetting that I can drink something mid session. But you see, I keep drinking like tea and caffeinated things that make me even more parched than um hydrated. A silly me. So I need to, yeah, that's a good idea. I need to hydrate more. Man, I have another map that I want to show you guys, but I don't know where I put it. But anyway, there's like a map of Amsterdam that I used to have, and it's also neat because it shows you all the places around Amsterdam. Always drink coffee. Yeah, curse on a blessing. Yeah, man, I love coffee. But the what I realized is if I have coffee every day, then it kind of like loses its edge. And I like appreciating coffee, so I try to mix between some tea, red black tea and coffee. You know what's weird? In Chinese, black tea is red tea, but in English, it's black tea. I don't know why that is, but yeah. And I tried green tea too, but I find that I'm not a big fan of green tea. Eh, where's that map? Now I'm like really trying to find that map, but I can't find it. Okay, maybe for another time. If I do find it, I will let you guys know. Oh yeah, and maybe this would be a good time for me to with the last few minutes I have. Um I am giving away the things that I have in my room. And let's start with this. If you grew up in the United States and you are around my age, I was born in 87, so I'm 38. If you are around my age, you probably remember the cars, toy cars that you get from the gas station Chevron. So I have three cars from that model. These were basically gas station toys that were very special and close to my heart. I grew up with these toys and I still have them. Now, I want to make more room in my life so that I can have other things in my life. And when I move, I want to be a little lighter. So I could give these to the Goodwill and donate them, but I would really like it if these prized possessions of mine go to someone I actually know, and I know that when I know that they're gonna be appreciated, so I would like that. So if you want these cars, let me know. I will mail them to you for free because I would rather have them be played with and cherished by you than continue to take up space in my house. These toys have served me for long enough. They're good companions, and my good vibes will pass on to these cars. So let me know if you want these cars. How are my dogs doing? They're doing okay. Well, Billy Jr., my white dog, is developing dementia. So his head is kind of not in the right place. So he's been dozing off a lot. Um, but he's around that age, right? He's almost 14, which is pretty old for a dog. And Pudding is also doing good. And yeah, Malachi, you want it? I think yeah, it's gonna be good for your daughter as well. Okay, you'll take it. That's good for me. Okay, I'll ship it to you probably this week. I need to make sure to put some bubble wraps around it. So happy that yeah, okay, that was good for me. All right. Thank you. That makes me feel good. Yeah, but dogs are old. But hey, aging is a part of life, and we gotta appreciate it. We gotta take it. We gotta take life as it is, without really wanting it to be difficult if we don't want to suffer. All right, I gotta go to my next call now. So that's gonna be it for the stream. But thanks for joining me today. And I know I talked about a lot of things today, but you always have the replay on my channel, so check it out. And I'll see you guys on the next stream. Thank you so much. Bye.